What's up, everybody? Matt here. So, thanks for joining me today. What I'm going to go over is I have a new sample app that I'm going to release here pretty soon, and it's something I've been talking with a lot of AppSheet developers for months and months about the theory on how you could build a public app, one that you can access just like a website. You go to it, but you don't have to log in, and you can still use the app, but it would also retain the ability to show you like user-specific data. So but with a public app, you can't make use of user email, right? So you can't call the email of the person that the email of what they use to log in, because they're not logged in. You have to do something else. Thankfully, AppSheet built something for us to use. It's called there's context, and there's one of the options that's available. It's called device, and what it does is it grabs the global identifier of the device that's running the app. So I built a way that you can corral all those together under a single user record and built it into a sample app, and I'm going to walk through how to do it today. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so here we are on the page that you'll get to if you click the link that I included in this post. And there's some, you obviously you can copy it and customize it yourself, or you can just look at what I've done, how I built it. There's some stuff down here. I don't think any of these work. This details is kind of a little bit about what I'm going to go over right now. But just to give you a brief overview of how the app works, I'll come here back to the editor and show you. So if I delete my user record, so when you start the app, you're dropped here into this beginning onboarding page, and there's some basic information. You can read them if you would like. It gives you some ideas about what to expect about here, and when you click done, it drops you into the home page. On the home page, there is, again, some basic information, and then there's this inline card view. And when you click this, there's a couple of different things that happen. So you can create your profile, and this launches you into, you can see the user form. And so if I add my stuff, and I hit continue, boom. So through that quick little process right there, I access the app without needing to log in, even though I am, AppSheet. And I created a user profile, aka created a user record. And in the process, I also linked the device that I'm using, this AppSheet Chrome editor. And so now that I have a user record and the device that I have is recognized as being part of that user record, I have this available down here. You see beginning went away because we don't need the onboarding anymore. We've already created a record. We've already created our profile, and we have my info. So this is like a my profile it's the current user slice that shows you your name, the phone number, and then your device. And of course you can change this. So like I'll do this and I'll be like AppSheet editor, boom. That way I know what device this is, right? And now, okay, so now the thing is, so what this works on this app, on this device, okay? So if I come to this app on a different device, then it won't recognize who I am. So like, for instance, if I go here, I don't think it will recognize the Chrome editor as the same one. Nope, see, it dropped me into beginning. So when I'm here inside the AppSheet editor, like if I refresh the page, that way we get everything to kind of re-go over again. It should recognize the AppSheet editor as this device that I've already saved, the device that is linked to my profile. So everybody says, boom, boom shakalaka. So this is the AppSheet editor, but when I come to this app from Chrome, outside of AppSheet, it doesn't recognize it as the same device. So let's add this. So I can just go down to Home. And now, instead of creating a profile, what I want to do is I want to link my device to my profile that's already made. So I'll go in here, right, the device nickname. I'm going to change this to Chrome. And then this is where the link magic happens. You have to enter the same phone number that you entered in that previous one. Now, that could be anything. I could change that from a phone number to, you know, just a text or a long text or whatever, so where you can just like enter some bit of data or whatever, some string of characters that has to match. That's what really makes all of it work. And I just thought it was easier to just use the phone number. And so now it's submitting. You can see it did a forced sync on there, right? There's some good stuff, and then it brings me back right back here to where I am. Now I've submitted that, so if I go back to my other device, the original device I used, and I update the app, now down here at the bottom I have a device link request, right? Because I requested to link my Chrome browser, so I can confirm or deny, eject or approve. You can cancel if you're not sure, you want to wait or whatever. But you can come in here, and when you approve it, boom, it's approved. You can see there's 3 things that need to happen, so I'm going to push these so that they go into the cloud faster. And as soon as that third one is done, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to update the Chrome browser version. And now look, my info. It's linked this Chrome browser to my profile. Now I could access this by going to an incognito window. So if I open the app in an incognito, so I'm not logged in 100%, right? So this is the true test of, is the app public? No. What? Come on now. This is supposed to be, oh, that's why. Ha ha ha. Updated just now. Oh, and now it's gonna yell at me, of course, because I exceeded the rate limit. Okay. Good error to happen when you're streaming. Hey, you've been doing whatever you've been doing too much. Sorry, you can't go forward anymore. Okay. Can I now access this from incognito? That's the question. Sure can. At least it allowed it to work. So, gotta love AppSheet. You can change things on the fly. So I'm here on a fresh new incognito window. It doesn't recognize this device. Drops me into the beginning where it's supposed to start. I have home, so I can come here and I can link this. So I mean, I can try it again. Still have that on my clipboard. Okay. Interesting. All right. Okay. Well, it does work. I promise you. We'll investigate this a little bit more, but okay, maybe it'll work now. But what I'm gonna do here then is I'm going to go over how this app is all put together. Because that's really the purpose of this app. Of this video, sorry. So, the way that this works is you can see these are the tables here, so I'll just start at the tables. So there's a welcome page. Inside the welcome page, there's also quick menu options. Then there's the start page. You have users and user devices. It's very basic. I kept it to where you could like use this as a starting point and then add whatever else you wanted to on top of this. So now if we go, I'll show you, I have some slices as well. So obviously there's a current user, and you can see the way that this runs is it pulls the user record where the device that you're running. So if this context device part, so that pulls the global identifier of the device that's running, and it's like a text value, and it says, is that text value in the linked devices column for the user slice, for the user record. So if I show you that inside the users table, if I scroll all the way down, right, there's all this various different informations. Okay, so then you have related user devices. And then from related users devices, I'm doing a list dereference. These are fantastic. So what this does is it takes all the user device records that are associated with this user record, and it creates a list of all of the device IDs. So now let me show you. If I go and I show you the user devices table, it's kind of winging around. You can see there's a user link that's a reference to the thing, back to the user. And so that's what makes this related user devices, right? And so then also we have the device ID. And so that's the global identifier of the device that's running. And so this table literally only stores it stores some other stuff, but it's the user link and the device ID. Those are the ones that are important. And so this list dereference, what it does is it says, okay, for all of these records that are linked to whatever user, make me a list of all of the device IDs. That's what this linked devices and this list dereference formula is doing. So this creates a list of all of the global IDs of the devices that are linked to each individual user record, right? And so the slice for current user is saying, okay, the linked devices list is a list of global identifiers. Is the global identifier of the device that's running the app inside that list? If it is, that's the record we want. And that gives you your current record, just shown down here in my info. You can see it's current user. There's a view for it. So that's this one. I have filtered menu because you might have noticed if you play around with this that the menu options change based on what you got going on. So like, since I'm logged in, I don't need to see the profile creation thing. Since my device is recognized, I don't need to see the link request option. So there's no options left, so the menu just goes away. And so that's accomplished through this guy right here, this filtered menu options. And you can see there's two things in here. So it says there's two options there. So if the current user slice is blank, then show then pass, right? And move forward. If the current user record is not blank, then don't show me the make profile menu option. The other okay, so that gets rid of the make profile option. And the other one is the device inside the current user linked devices. And I had to split this using split because current user and then whatever you put after that's going to create a list of things. But linked devices is a list. So this is actually a list of lists, which is a hard thing for AppSheet to handle, but they created split so that we can take that list of lists and I can say, because I know it's actually just a list itself. And so then this split formula tells AppSheet, okay, take this list of lists and for each space, comma, space, make a list out of everything that's left. And so since it's just a list with option, with the data, and then space, comma, space, data, space, comma, space, data, however long it goes, this creates a fresh list of all of the linked devices. And then we have an in statement. Is this inside the linked devices? It's almost the same thing for the current user. If it is, don't show us the linked device menu option. Otherwise, if the device is not inside the linked devices, pass. These true things mean, show us everything. No restrictions. So that's how the menu options maneuver themselves. It's all accomplished through this filtered menu options slice. There's a couple of more. They're pretty self-explanatory. Device link requests and then approved devices. Obviously, the link requests are the ones where the confirm number is not blank, so that's when you're submitting a record to link this device to my profile, you enter your phone number. So is that phone number present? Okay. Is the number that they entered inside the current user's phone? So is the number the same? And is the user approved button, this is a button that they press that says I approve type of thing, is that blank? So is there a number that's been entered? Is the number the same number as the one of the current user? And has it not been approved or rejected or anything yet? Then grab that, because those are in a state of pending. You know what I mean? Because they haven't been approved or rejected yet, but they match the current user. And so those are the ones that are displayed down in that view over here. I'll show you that view in a minute. And then approved devices is just simply that, where the device status is linked and the user is the user that's using the app. So those are the slices that kind of help make everything work. The views, really quick, you can see there's the onboarding view. So if I show you this, it's an onboarding view, right? If I go down here, I can show you it. Oh, it has a show if condition to where only if the current user is blank. So if there's nobody recognized as being the device is logged in, whatever, whatnot, you know, then it shows this beginning thing. You have welcome main, which is for the welcome page, and you know, it's a welcome page, just showing you a little data. It's like a splash page type of thing. They're very helpful to include. Then you have current user and device link requests. These are the two that kind of switch and move around. So current user obviously is the current user slice, but it only shows if, you know, there's a current user record. Otherwise it doesn't show. And same with this device link request. So this is for that slice where the number that somebody has entered is the same number that the current user has as their phone number, but they haven't adjudicated what to do with that request yet. That's this view, and you can see it's only view if that's not blank. The slice is not blank. So that's that. And then hidden away up here in the menu, I have the start page set up. So this is a table so this gives you the ability to modify and edit that onboarding page, because you can't modify the onboarding view. It's read only. But I hid it away in the menu. So this is a handy thing to do on public apps. You can, if you go to on UX and you go to brand, down here in the header and footer, there's hide menu and search buttons. Kind of sucks that the search is tied to hiding the menu. That kind of sucks. But this is a helpful thing to where if you want to include some like admin type functions that you want available, but you don't want anybody to have access to them at only access at certain points, you can hide them in the menu. And that's kind of what I did here with this onboarding setup. So, you know, you can only access that if you can get to the menu, and you can only get to the menu if I turn this off. But if I leave this on, you can't get to it, you know? So it's a kind of a cheat way to hide some stuff that you don't want other people to do. But inside here, you know, it's just a table, and you can come in here and you can edit and change, modify, whatever. So that's that. So how do things actually work? So the way things actually work, so if we go and we look at, I'm gonna delete my user record. Okay, so we have beginning, and we go to home and wait for these to sync up. I'll push it so that it happens faster. That'll make the menu options appear. So here we go. All right, so the way that this works is if I show you this view, so this is the filtered menu options table, and it's inside the welcome page. So in the welcome page, right, there's related quick menus. So the way that that works is there's the welcome page, and then the quick menu table has a reference back to the welcome page right here. And so this reference back to the welcome page puts these options in an inline view inside the welcome page. So again, the welcome page is, just that, it's a splash page. And so this quick menu, it's an inline view that are menu options. It's a navigation thing, right? So you can put whatever you want in here. And I've built this in a way to where it's modular so that it's easily expanded, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. So these quick menu options, if I just go to the sheet and show you, here's quick menu, you can see there's the two options, right? And so now there's a table, there's an inline view for that table, right? So the quick menu table will have by default an inline view, right? A quick menu inline. And so that's, well, it's not this because this is on slice, but it would be that one. So this is just a copy of it specific for it. So here is the view. It's an inline card view set to the reference, and it's for the filtered menu options, which is what's seen here. And so you can see, you can dig through this how you want, but the main important thing is that on click, I've taken it over. Instead of just going to the details of the record, which is the automatic behavior that happens, instead I have it doing this stack action. So behavior is where it all really flies. So here's on the quick menu table, and you can see tap stack, welcome to the quick link. So when if I go back to the view really quick, I can jump around a lot, but I'm trying to keep it centralized. So this is the action that happens. So when you tap on one of these, this action fires off, and that action is a composite action. So it's one of those grouped stack action. It does a whole bunch of things where it does create a new user, or it does new device link request. So it doesn't matter which one you tap, what option, even if there's more here, this action fires off every time, right? So inside of here now, I've included for each menu option, there's a corresponding action that does whatever that's supposed to do. So for instance, the create your profile, if I go here, this action corresponds to that. And so what it does is it just goes to the link to view, user's form, right? Now here's where the magic happens. The condition, so is blank, current user, you're not logged in, and make profile equals the trigger word. Now remember, this is a record inside the quick menu table, right? So link device. Now I said I made this modular because what I've done is I've included this thing back here, quick menu trigger word. So it's a place where you can just enter whatever text that you want, but it's a keyword that you can then correspond an action to that keyword, so that when somebody selects this row, right, the keyword that's highlighted, if you want to think about it that way, is link device. So the action stack fires off and it sees make profile equals the trigger word, so this thing fires off, right? Okay, now it's a stack. So now the first thing is create user. What if I tap link device? Okay, well the trigger word for link device is not make user. So this create user action doesn't fire off. We go to the link, the device link request, device link equals trigger word. You with me now? So you can, so inside your menu options, you include a trigger word, and then you create an action that does whatever you want it to do. This one takes me to a form with some stuff pre-filled. To sneeze. This one just takes me to a form without pre-filling anything. There was previous on the original build of this, There was some other options to link out to some other forms, to link to some web pages for more information type of stuff. And each one of those records inside the quick menu table had a corresponding action that was then put inside the stack. So that's how the menu part works. And it's really all accomplished by actions and behaviors, which is really where all the automation and the grease to make everything really smooth, that's where it all happens. So let's see. Next, so when you tap on this, now you know these things are conditionally firing off, right? And so when I tap on it, this new record, it takes me to the user form. So inside of here, I fill out the stuff. So one of the things you might have noticed is that there's this tap here to continue on, continue. So instead of hitting the save button, you can put if you go and you show, let's see, if I go to UX, I go to options, okay, in forms, not forms, I'm sorry. Inside the each individual form, there's this auto save setting. So what this does is that after the last thing in the form is filled in, it saves the form. So when you include something like this, where it's just an enum, as soon as they hit that button, the form saves. So it's a bigger thing for them to hit versus that tiny little save button. And you can make it say whatever you want, right? Helpful little things. So now this form, so there's some magic that happens when the form saves. So if you look down here in the behavior section of the view, you'll see there's the event action. So when the form saves, again, I took over that event action and I have a stack that fires off. So let's go look at this stack save user. So we go to behavior, we go to users, stack, save user. So when you save the form, when you're done, this stack action fires off, right? Every time, because there's no restrictions on it. And this is just a container, and it does this new device from user save. So this is an action to create a record on the user devices table in the background. So this is the super fancy stuff. This is relatively new now. So what this does is it says, okay, we're saving something from the user, right? So use some data from the user table, put it in the user device table, save that record. Automatically in the background, just do it. And so we set the user link to whatever user we're at and the device status to linked. So this is how, when you first create your profile, there's automatically a record that's created linking the device that you're using to create your profile to your profile. We do it in the background automatically, boom, as soon as you're creating your profile. And so this fires off if context is not inside the linked devices. So everything's conditional, so it only fires off when it's supposed to. It's only shown when it needs to be shown. So this is inside the stack that fires off whenever you save the form. And so I'll do that here. So if I go add V and then fill it in, boom. So let's go. I want to show you the user form view again. So when I saved it, right, this stack action happened that created this user device record in the background. Just there it goes. We linked it automatically. What we also have on this view is a finish view. So you'll see it took us to here. That's because I've specified when you save the user form, go to this view, the current user, because you're saving the user form, you're creating your user record. Now we can go look at your user record, and inside that you can see the device that has already been created for you in the background. And so that is how, if we go here onto on this. So this is the newer type of action that allows you to create a record in the background, so you don't even have to go through like a form or anything. It's a fantastic thing that happens. So that's what happened. That's how all of that works. So now, if you when you come to this app from a different device, right? There's that link device request that would go off, and so you'll see what this does is it sets the device, it opens the form, right, for a new user device with the device status set to link requested, because we're trying to link something. And this is a special thing that I've been doing for a while now that's really helpful. I have a column inside all of my tables, basically. I'll show you in the user devices, called form type. What I use this for is like a temporary flag. So for instance, in this case, I flag that we're coming into this form to add a device. And so then I have specific elements. So if I go to user devices, I have specific elements that are looking to see what does the form type say, because we're coming into this form. And so are we coming in here to add the device? If we are, then show this. You know, if we are, then show this. Otherwise, don't show it. So that's it's a really helpful way to where if you want to use a form in a couple of different ways, you know what I mean? So like one common, the way that this originated for myself was I had a project that was in multiple stages. And so it became really helpful to be able to do something like this. So, what else? I'm trying to think of all the... Kind of went over all the fanciness already. Oh, okay, so if we go back to behavior, so you can see there's some sync things that are involved here. So like when you save, if I just show you, here's the stack for save the user device request. So when you're saving the form of the device request, the first thing it does is it clears that flag that we set that said, oh, we're coming in here to add a device. Clear that off. And then the next thing that happens is a sync. So a force sync. These are helpful to know. Basically, it's just a link to view taking you to, you know, some view wherever, but you add this little bit of code here at the end and at now +1, and it tells AppSheet, okay, go to that view where the timestamp is like in the future. And so that forces AppSheet to resync. It's pretty sweet. So this is a very helpful way to where you can conditionally get your app to sync if you know, like if something's really important and it needs to get out right away, or I find it's helpful for like if you're generating a workflow, especially if it's a complicated thing and it takes a long time to process. A lot of times I want that to start right away, and so I'll put this sync, this force sync, right after it, to where, you know, it'll save the record and then start that sync process off so that we can get it done. So that's inside here. That's helpful. Some other things that I've done is there's some conditionality for whether or not these buttons should be shown. There's also conditionality for when these buttons. So there's the approval button, right? So you can see here with the form type. So when the form type equals confirm link and they haven't done anything yet, then we can show this column. And then there's an edit if formula, here you go, where we say same thing, are they in the form type for confirm link, because I want to conform things. And so I've found it's much easier you can base things based off, you know, complicated logic to take all the things into consideration and make the actual determination. You can do that, but that, you know, adds slowness and kinks and stuff. I've found it's easier. It takes less, you know, compute cycles, if you want to think about it that way, to just set a flag on something, because it's, you know, especially if it's like, okay, I'm pushing a button because I'm going to take us somewhere to go do something specific. Okay, well, in that button press, I can throw in this flag, so we don't have to do all that complicated stuff. We can just hard set something, and then I can make a simple equality that says, does the form type equal this? Okay, well then we'll do this in that instance. Just a helpful thing that I've noticed, that I've done and implemented here for you all to benefit from. Let's see what else. That is ultimately, you know, the bulk of everything that's going on. I try to keep everything as simple as I could. Let's see, user device requests. Oh yes, okay. So this is one very important piece of data. So when you save the user devices and you approve it, you're in the form type of confirming. Again, making use of that to 100%, this thing will only fire off when I know that that flag is on. Makes it so much simpler. So the person's approved this device request, they're in the confirmed space, but there is no user link to the device that they just approved. If that's true, then this workflow fires off in the background, and what it does, two things. First, clears the form type. It's always good to clear temporary flags. And then the second thing it does is it sets the user link to the current user. Who's using the device? What you just, because if you think about the flow, I go to my computer, I access the app, and you know, I create my profile, and then I get on my phone and I link my phone to my computer. So then in order to make it to where my phone will work, I come back to the computer and I accept, and on that device it will see that, you know, you have a new thing, whatever. And so because I'm on that device, it recognizes that I'm the current user, right? So we can make use of that, and in that instance that the person is actually using it. And so then it sets that link in the back, on the back end, to your devices. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else. I think that is it. Security filters, slices, onboarding stuff, all the actions to kind of make everything work. Yeah, there's some more fun complicatedness that you can find inside the inside each one of these little tables. There's going to be some fun stuff, you know, like some different uses of the context formula, some more advanced, really complicated type things for you to fill out or to figure out. But in general, this app, I built it with the idea that, you know, you could use it as a base starting point if you wanted to build something that was public but with private. Anyways, let me know what you all think. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it.